Just give us the thumbs up when we're okay to start. All good? Excellent. Very good. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Sorry for the delay. The middle school, we're just kicking the tires a little bit here. First time we're here since it's been newly redone. So real quick, the Open Public Meeting Statement. In accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, PL 1975. Do you guys hear that feedback? Am I killing you guys out there?
You're okay there.
You don't hear it?
I hear it.
Wow. You hear it?
I hear it up here, but they're saying it's okay out there. So.
Slap back off the wall, of course. That's what I was going to suggest. It's a slap back off the wall. The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have access, to have advance notice, and to have and attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with these provisions of this Act, the School Districts of Chatham's Board of Education has caused notice of having this meeting to be published by having the date, time, place thereof posted in the Board Administrative Offices sent to the clerks of the borough and the Chatham Township, the Library of the Chathams, the Chatham Courier, the Daily Record, the Star Ledger, and the TAP. Peter, would you mind taking attendance?
Sure. Mr. Gilfillan. Here. Ms. Ciccarelli.
Here.
Ms. Clark.
Here.
Mr. Del Sandro.
Here.
Ms. Kenny.
Here.
Mr. Ryan.
Here.
Mr. Smith.
Here.
And Ms. Weber.
Here.
8 present and accounted for.
Wow, the band's all together. If you're able, please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. The flag is right here in the front, on my right, your left. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Excellent. Thank you, everybody. I do not have any opening comments at this time, so I'm going to send it right over to you, Dr. LaSousa.
Thank you very much, Ms. Weber. I just want to point out to everyone that this is our first board meeting in this new space. And the reason why many of you haven't seen this facility yet is that, if you recall, after the 2016 referendum passed, we needed to do our auditorium renovations sequentially because we couldn't be without an auditorium in the district. So the first year or so involved the renovation of the high school auditorium, and then our architect and construction folks and contractor tackled this auditorium, and this auditorium wasn't totally complete until a little over a year ago, which of course was during the pandemic, and so we weren't holding events in indoor spaces. So that's the reason why many of you haven't been into this auditorium yet. But as you can see, it really came out beautifully, and we're very appreciative of all the work that went into it. And of course, our principal here from Chatham Middle School, Jill Jaworski, is with us tonight. And the reason she is here is that on an annual basis, of course, we approve the programs of studies for Chatham Middle School and Chatham High School. That is what enables those schools to provide their students with course offerings as they begin the scheduling process. Typically, we begin our scheduling process right after the holiday break in January. So we invite them in, and they give us a brief overview of any changes that they are proposing. And then once we have the programs of studies adopted, they can put the boots on the ground and begin to schedule students for the following school year. So I invite Ms. Jaworski and Mr. Groh to the microphone. Ms. Jaworski is going to lower the screen, and we'll all head into the audience just like we do when we're at the high school.
God. I know, don't touch it. Do you guys want me to move in front of you? I feel funny speaking to your backs. Okay, I'm right here. Okay, so Chatham Middle School Program of Studies. I just have to catch my breath. You know, I got my steps in today. The main changes that we made for the upcoming Program of Studies were in our family and consumer science cycles. We're piloting these classes this year, and now we got some data, we were able to see how they're running, and we've decided to formalize them and put them into our program of studies for 2022-23, which sounds so crazy to me. So a little bit of a change in all three of our courses. We were running traditional family and consumer science courses that really basically focused on kitchen safety, the craft of cooking, and following recipes. What we're doing this year is we changed the courses a little bit to provide not only the culinary experience, but also to allow students to learn about the craft of cooking, the business behind cooking, and to give them a little bit of a more creative aspect in not just following recipes, but actually creating and working with recipes when they're thrown a few little curveballs. So Darren, if you can change to the next slide. So originally in 6th grade, we had a course called CMS Top Chef, definitely our most popular course at Chatham Middle School. We replaced it with Culinary Craft. This year, again, our most popular course at Chatham Middle School. But instead of just focusing on following recipes and kitchen safety, this course also gives an opportunity for students to meet with trained professionals, to interview them, to learn about how they come up with recipes. They share some of their recipes, they talk about their inspiration. After that, the students work on creating a reflective piece, and they share some of the moments of the things that were most memorable to them with the chef interview. And then they create recipes from scratch, taking some of the tips and tricks that the chef shared with them. They test them out. They create a website or a blog. They have a choice as to how they want to communicate the information about their recipes. And then once they make the recipes, the students try each other's recipes, and they do a review of them. And it's a lot of fun. I got to be a judge for this past marking period. And it just allows the students to have a little bit more of a broader view of the craft of cooking. In 7th grade, we used to have the Roll Through Foods, and we replaced it with Recipe Slam. And it's kind of a takeoff on Food Network's Chopped. Basically what happens is the teacher provides students with recipes, and then they are given a secret ingredient. So if any of you have seen Chopped, it's where you have a basket full of a bunch of crazy ingredients and they have to come up with something creative. Same thing here, the students work together as a group and they decide how to incorporate their secret ingredient into the recipe that's given to them. They then prepare their recipes and judge each other's creations, and they have a slam. Slams happen about every 2 weeks, so they have an opportunity to work on their recipes and then make them. At the end of the slam, the students determine who's the winner, and then at the end, they just calculate their scores for the marking period and see who was the official CMS baking champion. In addition to making these recipes and creating the recipes with these secret ingredients, students are also blogging about the recipes that they make and also the recipes that they try. Try to reflect on why they chose the ingredients, how it came out, what worked, what didn't work, just to incorporate a writing component to this as well. And then 8th grade, we have replaced textile design with a food truck face-off. So students actually are put in a kitchen, and with their kitchen, they develop and create their idea for a food truck. They design the food truck, make up a business plan for the truck, come up with recipes that they're going to be famous for, that the truck is known for. They need to do advertising for it. They prepare a commercial to promote the food truck. And then during the final weeks of class, they actually compete in a face-off where each group presents the food truck idea, concept. They show their commercial, the story behind their recipes, and then they create a couple of recipes that are on their menu for their truck. And the other groups listen to their presentations, they sample their recipes, they write critiques, and they vote and decide who the CMS food truck face-off winner is. So it's, again, a creative way of allowing students to explore, the culinary side of CMS. And then the only other change that we made apart from the family and consumer science was this year, the majority of our 8th grade students are taking geometry. We decided to put geometry in place of Algebra 1 because the thought was when they got to Chatham High School, they would take Algebra 1 as freshmen and then Algebra 2 as sophomores. It just seemed to make more sense to us. So a lot of the 8th graders are taking geometry. We do have a cohort of students who start 6th grade in an accelerated program where in 6th grade they do the equivalent of 7th grade math. In 7th grade they do geometry. And so next year they'll be taking Algebra 1 as 8th graders. And then they'll start with Algebra 2 in the high school. It's a select group this year we have 17 students who are in our geometry class in 7th grade who will be moving on to Algebra 1 in 8th grade. And that's it for Chatham Middle School. Does anyone have any questions? Perfect. Sounds good.
So at the high school, we're really getting back into the swing of things with full classes and everybody back in the building. We are only looking at 2 additions next year that we have not been running. The first one is Advanced Placement World Geography, which is right, Human Geography, I'm sorry. That's a new AP course that we'll be having in the Social Studies department. That course is going to explore how humans have understood, used, and changed the surface of the earth. They'll use the tools and thinking processes of geographers to examine patterns of human population, migration, and land use. That'll be a full year course. The second course is History and Film, and this course is going to examine historically oriented films as secondary sources of information about the past and primary sources reflecting when they were made. That'll be a semester course that'll be available for juniors and seniors. Our English 12 change, these are not new courses, these are just a change in how the courses will be run. For the last 10 years, we've run our senior English courses in semesters with everybody taking contemporary nonfiction. The first semester and a second selection of choice, contemporary fiction, literature and law, literature, philosophy. We're just condensing that, or expanding that, I guess, into a full year course. So students in 12th grade will have a choice between contemporary fiction, contemporary nonfiction, and global literature. We're also adding in our art department a level 2 ceramics, drawing, and graphic design. But we are looking to have our 8th graders coming in. Currently they're going into experiencing fine art as an introduction course. Students that come in with some experience can jump that course, go right into the first level of ceramics, drawing, or graphic design. This second level gives them more elective choices or semester courses and experiences for those who are looking to continue in that sequence through our pre-AP and AP offerings. Our next slide and change is a change in our Capstone electives. And what I mean by that is our short films, our design studio, advanced robotics, and entrepreneurship are really courses that are taken by our 11th or 12th graders, or predominantly 12th graders, after they've completed the initial sequence in each of those fields. For example, short films can only be taken by a senior after they've taken video production as a sophomore, TV production as a junior, and then the short films is a very select group of students who are interested in that field. So what we're looking to do is add honors credits to those capstone courses, really recognizing their commitment and dedication and interest in those areas, which kind of mirrors the advanced placement on the more academic side of things, where there's advanced placement or honors credit there. So we're looking forward to that. We would have to add an advanced robotics 2 and an advanced robotics 3. And the advanced robotics 3 would be that honors level course, so only seniors would be eligible for that. And then in math, as Jill indicated, flipping geometry and algebra 1. Next year we'll have students in 9th grade, most students in 9th grade taking algebra 1, at one of our academic levels, either C, D, A, or honors, and our probability and statistics course title change to statistics for data science. And those are the changes that we have for next year. It's pretty simple. As I said earlier, we're really looking at evaluating everything that's going on now with our kids coming back to school, those couple of changes in English and in social studies. We're looking forward to providing those opportunities for our students moving forward. We will have an introduction or a presentation to our students in January, open up the program of studies, explain the changes, and our scheduling process begins at the beginning of February for next September. Thank you.
Darren, do you mind if we just ask a couple of questions while Jill is still putting up the screen? So the social studies, the AP Human Geography, is there any prerequisites for that? So US 2, sorry.
US 1 for 9th grade, US 2 for 10th grade. Students can take, and they do take, World Studies junior year and an AP course concurrently at times. So this course would fall into that same sequence as the other AP courses in social studies.
Okay, so everybody has an opportunity to take this class, as a senior or junior.
As a junior or a senior, correct?
Okay,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And you had mentioned in the committee meeting that there's one AP course that we don't currently offer.
I did look deeper into that. There's probably 3 or 4.
Okay, no worries. And it's a very robust offering of advanced placement courses, which again is a double-edged sword. Which it's great. It's great to have robust. We just don't want the kids overly stressed that they're going to say, plug in one more AP course versus a study hall or some other elective.
Correct. What I would say is our counselors do a fantastic job counseling our students and our families when students are making course selections. The counselors' thoughts and ideas are not always followed. People have choice.
Sure.
But they're making the choice with all the information possible to make the best decision they can for the students. And then we monitor kids as we go through the course of the year.
Understood. Perfect. And then the history and film class, as I mentioned in committee, that was the most popular class at Susquehanna University, where Ann and I went to school, although Ann's much younger than I am. So I think you're going to get a lot of interest in that. We called it film and history, so history and film, I'm sure the kids will get it, but I'm curious to see how the enrollment in that goes, because that should be, I bet you that's going to be wildly popular.
Yeah, that's what we're looking forward to. We're hoping to get 2 or 3 sections, so between 24 and 36 students we're hoping for
Right.
for the first year, and see how that runs as well.
Excellent. Okay. Does anybody else have questions for Darren on any of the program of study changes? No? Excellent. Jill, just real quick, I was wondering if Michelle could tee up. You had a concern or question or dialogue about textiles and where
Yeah.
the students can get exposed to that. Do you mind just covering that a little bit?
Can you cover that and just kind of also discuss like how we're monitoring the interest where, although I think those courses sound amazing and really fun and engaging, and I like that there is language arts and speaking and listening standards that are being incorporated, I just want to make sure we're not losing an audience for that textile, especially since we added recently a class at the high school level as well.
Sure. No, there's no question that that's something that we're keeping an eye on. Really, the decision was driven by our staffing and the lack of teachers who are actually able to teach a textile course. So the staffing really dictated the changes in our courses. What we were able to do was we attacked it a little bit from two different angles. One of our STEM classes, creativity and design, a large number of the students in there choose to design projects that involve sewing, creating different types of textiles, clothing. We moved some of the sewing machines actually into that room. It's in our biggest STEM room, so that students are still able to explore that if it's an area of interest to them during the school day. Our PTO is sponsoring an after-school enrichment program on sewing and design as well that is full. Okay. So this way we're able to kind of look at it from both angles as a co-curricular and also as part of our STEM program.
Great. Thank you.
Excellent. I think the consumer science classes are fantastic. I mean, it just gives them such a nice set of skills, not just cooking, which is obviously a great life skill, but the business side, the creative side, problem solving, writing, critiquing, fixing your problems. I use this ingredient. My friend used that, and it was better. It was worse. So I think that's going to be a phenomenal addition. And the math sequence just makes sense. It always never made sense to me when my kids went through. It seemed like a disjointed, and it seems like it'll be a much easier flow for the students now. So I think that's going to be very well received. Does anybody else have any questions for Jill on any of these items? I think the students are going to really love this, both sets of classes, and the Capstone classes. There's so much work. I'm happy to see that you're turning it into honors level, because the amount of work that goes into those classes is just staggering. And they all do it because they just love those classes, but it's nice that they're now being recognized for their passion and their craft. So thank you, Darren, for that. Any other comments or questions? I don't want to keep Jill and Darren here too long, since they're on their 15th hour of their day. No, Mike, did you have anything that you wanted to add to either of those presentations? Nope. Okay, very good. All right, we're going to move on. Jill and Darren, don't feel that you need to stay. You're welcome to, but nobody will hold it against you. I know you're in your 15th hour of your workday, so thank you both for coming out tonight. Okay, Dr. LaSousa, anything else in your superintendent's report?
That's it from me.
Excellent. Okay, over to you, Peter, for the business administrator's report.
Sure. First, just wanted to report that, as you should be aware, there is an open position on the Board of Ed for a township resident to replace Mr. Arnick. The board is accepting letters of interest up until November 30th, and will schedule interviews starting December 1st to candidates. Anyone can email any of the township representatives, which are Lotta, Michelle, Brad, or Matt, or just send the information directly to me. Morris County has not officially certified the election results. They will be certified as of November 20th, but as it stands as of November 10th, the 4 incumbents that were running for the board, Ms. Ciccarelli, Mr. Del Sandro, Ms. Clark, and Ms. Kenny have all won their elections. On the construction update, the roofers should be finished all the work at CHS by the end of November, weather permitting. The roof on the L wing is the last section that needs to be completed, and then the solar panels can be reinstalled. That's all I have, unless there's any questions.
Okay, sorry, Peter, I'm going to ask you a couple questions in reverse, just because I apologize, I didn't hear that great. I don't know if this monitor is on. The construction update, did you say the roofing will be done when?
By the end of November, weather permitting. If we get a good weekend coming up this weekend, they will, I think, almost be done, but I don't want to jinx it, because it seems that the last 2 weekends we've had only one nice day and 1 day of rain.
And are you talking about CHS or all of it?
All the CHS is the only remaining. As I reported earlier, the roof around the gym at the middle school, due to lack of materials, will be done in June of 2022.
22?
23, sorry. June of, as soon as school lets out, that'll be started. June of 23 is when we'll do the middle school roof.
22, right? This June. We're in
22, yes, sorry.
Welcome
We're in
to-
21.
welcome to
We're doing the
2021.
We're in the 21-22 budget. I'm already thinking ahead to 22-23 since we've
Okay,
opened
so
that
this
today.
summer.
Sorry, that'll be done this summer, sorry.
Okay, so the
June
middle-
of 22.
thought
And they
maybe-
have a go-ahead, hit the ground running, I believe, Saturday, June 18th, which is the day after school ends and graduation.
Okay.
The high school, as soon as they are done, can you make sure they remove absolutely everything in terms of the materials, the wrapping, everything that they have in the front of the building right now on that vacant lot? It's such an eyesore coming up Lafayette, and I think the neighbors have been patient, but I think we need to get that
Everything
out.
on the former special service site will be removed and the ground regraded, as well as the section in front of the school that has held 3 dumpsters right outside the windows for probably the last month and a half. My friend and colleague, Principal Groh, has been very patient with all of the work going on, and we do appreciate his support and the support of the whole staff.
Is that true, Darren? Have you been patient? We'll take it since it's being recorded. Peter, is there an opportunity to plant grass? I know there's a ton of material and machinery going on and off that lot.
We will attempt it. If we get lucky, it'll take. If not, we'll attack it again in the spring.
Okay, or just wait till the spring. If we've missed the season, then don't waste the material.
I will leave that to the powers that be
Okay.
that understand that and will do a much better job at growing things than me.
Okay, we do want grass back there, though.
Yes.
And just going back to the elections and the township open position, so congratulations, everybody. Ann, Chris, Lotta, Michelle, congratulations on your win. We're back together again for another few years. So well done there. And Peter, there's already been a few folks that have expressed interest in the open spot that Mr. Arnott left.
That is correct. We have two people that have expressed formal interest.
Formal interest, and another one that's expressed interest as well. So just to clarify, the end of the November or Thanksgiving? November 30th, they're going to cut off interest, and then first week in December. December 1st. You've already set a date. Excellent. Oh, okay, great. December 1st, you're first. Okay. When's our December meeting, Peter?
Monday, December 13th.
Okay, great. So do you think you'll have a recommendation by the 13th of December? Okay, excellent. Okay, perfect. Any other questions for Peter on any of those topics? Nope. Excellent. Committee reports, Ann, for personnel?
Yes, we met on November 10th, and we talked about grant-funded positions, just an overall update on staffing and coaching positions. And we will be meeting again on December 20th.
Excellent, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions for Ann on any of those items? Or Ms. Grant in the audience, she loves questions. No? Excellent. Okay, moving over to curriculum, Ms. Kenny?
Yes, we also met on November 10th. We had a preview of the presentations that were just done for the program of studies for CMS and CHS, and we also did a review of the senior internship program at the high school.
Okay, very good. More to follow on some of that?
The senior internship?
And the senior internship, yep.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Perfect. Any questions for Ms. Kenny or anybody else? Any questions for Dr. Chase in the audience? Dr. Chase, that's never going to get old. Just want to congratulate Dr. Chase on her newly minted doctoral. So, I hope you have like monogram jammies that say Dr. Chase now. It's very cool. Congratulations. That is a job well done. I know that was quite an accomplishment, and you've been working at it for a while, so well done, Karen. I know I tease you about it, but that's really fantastic. Good for you. Congratulations. Finance and facilities, Matt?
We meet Wednesday.
Wednesday. And Mr. Ryan, policy and planning.
We have not met since the last meeting, since the last board meeting. I'm not sure when we're meeting on Wednesday?
Probably.
Yeah.
Wednesday also. Oh, crap. Very good, thank you. Liaison reports, does anybody have anything that they'd like to discuss? Lotta?
A report for Chatham Education Foundation. Their annual appeal is currently in progress. They have a fundraising goal of $100,000 this year to fund the grants that are under consideration. They are also hosting their first Winter Wonderland on December 14th, and with a donation of $40 per family. And lastly, there is a Thanksgiving cookie decorating event that is being sponsored through Woodland Bakery. And when you mention CEF, there's 10% that's given back to CEF. These can all be found on chathamedfoundation.org if you have any other questions or would like to give.
Excellent, great, that's fantastic. Thank you for that, and thank you again for the CEF for helping to fundraise for the school district. Just real quick on performing arts. This weekend, the Chatham High School Theater Department is proud to present their production of Sense and Sensibility. Tickets are still available for Thursday at 4 p.m. That show is for senior citizens, free of charge, as always, and also students and teachers are invited to that show. Friday and Saturday, there's a 7:30 performance for the general public. So if you get a chance, please come out and see that show. You can probably buy tickets at the door if you don't, or order them, that day. On December 2nd, the Chatham High School Choral Department will hold its winter concert at 7 p.m. in the high school auditorium. We hope to see you all there for the first choral concert in the auditorium since the winter of 2019. On December 15th, we're happy to announce that the new winter concert event, A Night of Music in Chatham Borough, will feature some of our small ensembles from the high school and our Lafayette 4th and 5th graders. So at various spots downtown, you're going to have musical presentations and ensembles performing. And finally, we're pleased to announce that the reformation of the Winter Guard program with support from the Chatham Marching Band Boosters. The Winter Guard is an extension of our marching band and will compete throughout the winter season. So looking forward to that. That's fantastic. No additional items for liaisons? Nope. Excellent. Then I would like to make a motion to pass the November 1st public and executive session. Michelle and Mr. Ryan, I believe you two need to abstain.
Kenny has to abstain on the executive.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll second that.
Oh, Matt, second. Thank you, Matt.
Duly noted, the regular minutes pass 6-0, the executive pass 5-0-1.
Excellent, thank you. We have our first opportunity for public commentary. Hearing of the citizens during the public commentary section of the agenda is an opportunity for any member of the public to be heard about issues which are or are not topics scheduled for the current meeting. To help facilitate an orderly meeting and to permit all to be heard, speakers will be asked to limit their comments to a reasonable length of time. Thank you. And just a reminder, if we can, we'll address any items at the end. We won't interrupt this flow of speakers during the public commentary section. I don't think so.
Okay, sorry. Hi, I'm Braden Molina. I'm a township resident living at 91 Westminster Road, and I will be part of the leadership for the Chatham High School Winter Guard this year, actually. I just want to come here with two other members, Tanya Moline and Tanisi Gupta, to thank you for this opportunity. This is going to be a novel experience for both me and Ella Wagner, one of the other captains. It's a huge privilege. We've been so determined and excited to go through our past marching seasons together, and to finally finish out our senior year with a winter season, that would be fantastic. So thank you all so much.
Oh, thank you. Could you introduce your other?
Of course. Tanya Moline and Tanisi Gupta. The two behind me, yeah.
Excellent. That's fantastic. Well, we're excited, to see you perform, and we're excited that you're excited.
Thank you so
much. I like
much.
your spirit wear. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you for coming out. What was that? I can't hear. No, you don't. Ask them. Excellent.
Hi, so I'm Cheryl Whitney. I'm
Could you go over by the microphone? Sorry,
yeah, that would help, wouldn't it?
I can't hear on a good day.
Much better there.
There we go.
Okay, I'm Cheryl Whitney. I'm the Chatham Borough. I'm the grants chair for the Chatham Education Foundation, and I'm thrilled to be here today to present two checks totaling $7,478.14 to the school district of the Chathams.
Ooh.
The Chatham Education Foundation is funding two grants. The first is Enriching Kindergarten Reading Workshop and Word Study Programs for $2,136.14, and the Chatham Middle School Self-Contained Classroom Furniture at $5,342. The Enriching Kindergarten Reading Workshop and Word Study Programs grant provides material for 4 kindergarten classrooms at Milton Avenue School and Washington Avenue School. The grant enhances learning, and it purchases 120 boogie board tablets for interactive writing activities and applying letter sound and spelling knowledge. They can also be used for math and other curricular areas. Each classroom also will be receiving a consonant vowel consonant game, and the grant authors shared research showing that students learn best when they learn with a multisensory approach. So pop-up fidget toys, which are very popular among the younger crowd right now, is going to be used for counting syllables and words and to help make learning fun. For the Chatham Middle School self-contained classroom furniture, that is 2 self-contained special ed classrooms at the middle school, and they are going to receive updated flexible seating options, including special rocking chairs and floor rocker seats. By having flexible seating options, the students will have the opportunity to be in a conducive learning environment tailored for them and their various educational, social, and emotional needs. Since the start of our fiscal year on July 1st, the Chatham Education Foundation has given over $62,000 to the district. And our school year has just begun, so we're looking forward to many more grants this year. We also have an annual appeal, as Ms. Kennedy noted, that's currently underway, and we have a fundraiser coming up on December 12th for the Winter Wonderland. And finally, I'd like to thank our donors, without whose generous donations we would not be here to fund these grants and the others to come. Please check out, for anybody who's listening, our website at www.chathamedfoundation to see our donor list and how to donate. Thanks so much.
Oh, thank you. That's a lot of money. Any additional public comments? Mr. Heap.
How are you? My name is Carla Banducci. I'm a township resident, Chatham Township. So I'm here to just speak briefly on a request for changing Chatham Schools the start date. I know that it's been discussed, and I listened to the previous meeting where the questions were brought up. And I just wanted to briefly kind of just state my opinion on the matter. So I think, I do think that changing the school calendar will drastically change family lives. And I'm asking that families be given the opportunity to at least vote on the matter, the families that live in the community and send their children to schools in this community. I think taking away this precious time interferes with family life. Families rely on, I think, these last few weeks of summer to engage, be together, take advantage of the fleeting warm weather. Throughout most of New Jersey, the months of July and August are the hottest. Simply put, July and August is the core of summer. Let kids be kids, as they will have, the rest of their life to be working adults. If school ends, say, end of May, early June, it's still cold out. Kids have to go back in the best summer month, in my opinion, weather-wise. Starting the school year early and mid-August is not the answer. I'm asking Board of Ed to at least give families in our community a fair vote on the matter. So that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you mind signing in on that? Not you, Bill. You already signed in, didn't you? Well, could you both sign in? I thought you had already. At 530 seats, the 532. I don't know how many are here.
Good evening, Bill Heap, Chatham Borough. First, I'd like to compliment everybody on a beautiful renovation. It may be just me, but I do think the sound is better in this facility than it is over at the high school. But don't go by me because my wife is constantly telling me my hearing is shot. I was really impressed when the screen descended seemingly from the sky, and I was ready to reach for my popcorn. So to everybody who put in the time and effort, this is just a wonderful job. Second, I'd like to thank Mr. Arnott for his years of service. This is still a volunteer town, and he was willing to step up and give his time and efforts, put his time and efforts into the job. It's a thankless job. You all have targets on your back, and he was willing to sit up on the stage and take abuse from people like me, which I'm sure is galling at times. This school district is the envy of the state, and I wish him well and thank him for all he did to contribute to the fact that we are just a terrific school system. Next, I would like to put on my JC hat and announce our 54th annual tree sale. This is a tree sale that almost didn't happen. The Christmas tree market is as tight as a drum. And I started calling around for trees back in the summer. I was already too late. Even if I had called in January, I would have been too late. Those who bothered to answer the phone laughed at me. And I didn't have any trees up until the third week in October. And serendipity took over. The Chatham Township Fire Department happened to sell a fire truck to a fire department in deep southwest Virginia. And during the course of the conversation, it came up that fire chief had a source of Christmas trees. The township is already taken care of. They get their trees from Pennsylvania. I was passed the number, and I contacted people down in Virginia, asked them if I could come down, hopped in my car a couple of Sundays ago and drove down 81 for 8 hours. And this is deep, deep southwest Virginia, and these people are ready to rock and roll. The farm manager told me that they cut 700,000 trees a year. And so that means on a 10-year cycle, they have about 7 million trees under growth. They luckily managed to find a few for us, so we're set up to go. We will be open the day after Thanksgiving. We also have online options now and Venmo. We've catapulted ourselves into the 21st century. So there are lots of options there. You can go in person or you can place an order online. And again, all the proceeds that we collect go back into town in one way or another to various organizations, the emergency squad, the fire departments, the Key Club, on and on. So we thank everybody who will come out and patronize the operation. Thanks. Good night.
Bill.
The bottom?
I'm sorry?
Do you guys do the whole thing in the bottom? Do you guys?
Absolutely. We're a full service operation.
All right, that's good. That's a requirement for me, so.
Thank you. Any additional public comments? No? Excellent. Okay, so we're going to close the public commentary. So Cheryl, thank you again for the gifts. We appreciate it. We really couldn't run this without. I just want to mention, I had asked Mike earlier, Chatham Education Foundation has paid for so much furniture, the flexible furniture that's just helps students stay focused and learned. And during 2020, we had to put a lot of it in storage. You saw bins outside a lot of the schools. Thankfully, most of that furniture has since been put back in the classroom. So thank you to CEF. It makes a huge difference to the students, and it helps supplement what the district just can't pay for. So thank you, CEF. Thank you, Cheryl, for presenting. The starting date, we don't start, we're not even talking about starting in the middle of August. We're talking toward the end of August. And Mike, we had talked about queuing up maybe after the holidays, a little presentation on that, just to get everybody on the same page as to why, we're shifting it a few days or even a week earlier. Again, New Jersey is on an island for how late they start, and we're just trying to align ourselves and ensure our students are aligned with the rest of the nation. But I think it's helpful if we put up a few slides so that everybody understands, and we're all working at least off the same set of facts. Whether we agree or not, we can argue that one way or the other, but at least everybody's working off the same set of facts. So that would be helpful. And Mr. Heap, thank you for your kind words about Mr. Arnott. He is a man among men. He was a great board member, very level-headed, very thoughtful. He was just an excellent board member, and he did volunteer his time, and he put everything he had into it. And just like you, I just want to say, Mr. Heap, thank you for all you do. I saw you today setting up the wooden blocks, the stands for the JCs, so you've been doing this for dozens and dozens of years, so thank you for your service. One of the items that Mr. Heap didn't mention is the proceeds also go back to scholarships for the students in the district. They give a very, very generous couple of scholarships to graduating seniors, so thank you for that, and thank you to the JCs. I think I covered everything. Did I miss anything? Does anybody want to add anything? No? Dr. LaSousa, did I miss something or misspeak on anything?
No, just I know that Mr. Lawrence had spoken to me about the Winter Guard, as well as another music group, a percussion group, and we discussed kind of taking the path that we've taken with other activities in sports where the parents and the boosters kind of partner and help get those activities up and running. And then we can evaluate them down the road to see their sustainability. But it was nice to see the students come out and express support of that tonight.
Yeah, it was very nice. Excellent. Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that. Any other comments from the board members? Questions? Nope. Okay, great. Then we're going to move over to the regular agenda. It's a little thin because we had 2 meetings this month, which is a little bit unusual. Typically, we only have 2 meetings during budget season. That's why it's a little bit thinner than typical. So, Ann, I'll send it right over to you for personnel.
Yep, I'd like to move agenda items A1 to A15 on the regular agenda for vote.
Just 1 second, if you mind. Dr. LaSousa, we had talked about a stipend position, or is that in this agenda, or will that be at the next one?
We decided just to wait until the next agenda.
Okay, perfect. Okay. I thought maybe I was missing it. Thank you. Again, just to remind everybody, these minutes or these agendas are posted the Friday before the meeting, so we've had an opportunity to look at them throughout the weekend. Does anybody else have any questions for Ann or anybody else on personnel? No? Peter, would you mind?
Agenda items A1 to A15. Mr. Gilfillan?
Yes.
Ms. Ciccarelli?
Yes.
Ms. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. D'Alessandro?
Yes.
Ms. Kenny?
Yes.
Mr. Ryan?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
And Ms. Weber?
Yes.
Agenda items pass 8-0.
Excellent. Mr. Gilfillan, over to you.
Yes, I'd like to move action items B1 to 7 on your regular agenda.
1 through 7. Have you ever said 1 through 7 on an agenda? You're usually pages and pages long.
Thank you, Ann.
Excellent. Does anybody have any questions for Matt? This is the latest the Finance and Facilities agenda has ever been.
No.
Any questions? Nope. Peter?
Sure. Agenda items B1 through B7. Mr. Gilfillan?
Yes.
Ms. Ciccarelli?
Yes.
Ms. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. D'Alessandro?
Yep.
Ms. Kenny?
Yes.
Mr. Ryan?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
And Ms. Weber?
Yes.
Agenda items pass 8-0.
Excellent. Thank you. Ms. Kenny for curriculum.
Yes, I'd like to move action items C1 to C3 for vote.
Does anybody have any questions on C3, since you can't ask on 1 and 2? Dr. Chase, did you get the signatures you needed for this textbook? No, I'm sorry, did you get Ms. Kenny's signature? Okay, very good. I just wanted to make sure that you got the paperwork on it. You need it. So we're just talking about the AP World History book. Most of the AP classes obviously are highly structured from College Board, so they have to pick from books that the College Board approves. Any additional questions? No. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? There you go, Peter.
Duly noted, C1 to C3 passes 8-0.
And Mr. Ryan, over to you for policy.
Yes, I'd like to move action item D1 on the regular agenda for a vote.
Mr. Ryan, I'm sorry, are there substantive changes, or was this just clarification on some of these items?
Clarification changes.
Clarification, okay, thank you. Perfect, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Ryan or anybody on policy? Excellent. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Duly noted, D1 passes 8-0.
Excellent. We have now board business. If anybody has any items they'd like to discuss or bring up that haven't been discussed already? Anything at all?
The only thing is on the agenda that's posted online, it does say that the township open position is open until November 19th. So if people are reading off of there, somewhere we need to make a correction and make sure it's posted for the 30th, somewhere, so that people.
I'm sorry, where does it say?
On the agenda.
Oh, on our agenda.
Yeah, so I want to make sure people have accurate access
see.
and information.
I had that clarified by Ms. Kenny to me today. Please pardon my double duty, but while the presentation was going on, I emailed technology to update the website, so the announcement will say November 30th.
Great, thank you so much.
And I did notify the 2 prospective candidates that they would be contacted to have a meeting in the first week of December. So
Great.
we're all good so far.
Oh, thank you.
Perfect, thanks. And Peter, you'll help facilitate those meetings, or?
Yes,
schedule?
as I've done in the past, yes.
Thank you. I know you helped us in the borough when we were filling the last opening. For Chris. That's right.
That was in the plow truck.
Excellent. Any additional board business? Nope. Excellent. Okay, we have our second opportunity for public commentary. If you would just queue up at the microphone in an orderly fashion, that would be great. No, take your time. Got you. No, excellent. Okay. Well, if there's nothing, then we do not have an executive session, correct?
Actually, have like a 60-second executive session. No action will be taken.
Okay, 60
We can go
second,
right
and no
that
action.
way.
Okay, behind us. Fantastic. Well, thank you, everybody. Drive safely. Happy holidays.